Right, hello. I wanted to share a multi-touch joystick solution that I've worked out, and also try to get some help with that solution to try to perfect it. Just an initial caveat to note is I'm more or less a beginner coding in general and Godot in general. I mean, it's been a week maybe since I started with Godot because of the whole Unity thing. So I wanted to add touchscreen capability to my game. Or it's not really a game at the moment, it's just a test sort of game. So let me show you. Let's see, let me go to globals. We'll just show it working with the mouse. Okay, so this is pretty normal, you know. The ship or character, I guess, looks at the mouse, and I move around with WASD, and that's pretty nice. That's all good. The complication becomes when you try to do touchscreen stuff. It's very easy, right, to do the one touch situation. It's very easy, but complications arise when you try to do two touches at the same time. Why that is, I guess it's a limitation in Godot, I don't know, or maybe it's a general multi-touch situation with any sort of multi-touch device. I don't know, but I wanted to share a solution that I've worked on for the past couple of days and obsessed over. So using various resources online, I mean, there's basically nothing, but there's little snippets you can find all over the internet. One of which was like a post somewhere. Let's see, the most important resource was this explanation, so I'll just read over it, I suppose. The most important is all events are put into input event, and the touch will be recorded, I guess, in this manner. So it will have this information in the touch. It'll have an index, it'll have a pressed, it'll have a position. And the idea is you have to store that information and try to store it into separate indexes so that you can do different things with the positions and the information, I guess. The actual code that this guy shared wasn't particularly useful, so I had to just work it out, mainly with this, which was something else. It was like a demo or something, and the idea is to use state, and you store the information in a dictionary, and then I think this was something else. Yeah, this guy, I can't remember where I got this, but you have base state and current state, and you have finger count, very important. And then I basically used this and sort of modified it to what I want to do. So let me just go ahead and show you that. So this is all in a in-game UI scene. I set up various labels and debugs so I can see it when I'm actually on the phone. Let's perhaps go over the code first. So like I was saying, here are the states dictionaries. These are the places where you want to touch. Here's the boolean to say if you've touched it. And this is the information we want to share to the player and the rotate body. Okay, so input event, get the make a variable finger count, which is the size of the base state here. If it's 0, so nothing's happening, right, then no fingers are touching, and now you want to store, if no fingers are touching, then store the new event inside the base state. Now, what might be confusing is now we skip all the way, or no, we don't, I suppose. Yeah, we do. Do we? But at the same time, this is happening. The size of the base state has changed, right? Because it was 0 and now it's 1. So now you want to store that information inside current state here. So there's a for loop which goes through the base state and stores it inside the current state. And now I have I only want to use 2 inputs. I want, you know, the first touch and the second touch. So I only want to store 2 inputs. And then keep them there permanently, right? So what will happen is you press down your left finger or left thumb, and that will put into the first index, and then you put it down your second thumb, second index, and then they stay there. Very importantly, they stay there, and then this doesn't get used again. Okay. So, and I'm sorry if any of this is confusing. It's still a little bit confusing to me. So now you move on to, okay, there's something in the base state, i.e. there's a finger count equal to 1 because this equals this, and this is being updated all the time. This is whenever there's an input, right? So even dragging, so it becomes even a bit like process because it's happening so fast. So now I've put in a boolean here to say, okay, the left is touched, i.e. the first input is touched, and this will store the event. Otherwise, i.e. the touch has been released, so now it's false, and you want to clear that from the base event, but it won't be cleared from the current event. Okay, so, and then with the drag, you just want to update everything. And then with finger count 2, we want to try to do the same thing basically. It's kind of backwards, but it still works. But the most important thing is now you're storing the second information in the second place, i.e. key 1 instead of key 2, key 0, sorry. And that will, and then you want to account for the drag. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. And now it's the implement in process. Here we implement the actual information that we have, which is mainly the position of the values. So this is just for debug, it's just me, but ignore that. So now we have the first finger. So we're looking at the current state, and we're looking at position 0, or no, this only happens if there is a key in the dictionary, right? And then it will look at the first key, i.e. the first position here, and it will create a first position variable, and then we debug it, and then we calculate the distance from first position to the left area position. So that will be here. And now if the first distance is smaller, as in is it within the left arrow radius, which is here, which is the shape radius, which is this shape here, 160 pixels, which, to be honest, you probably don't need a collision. You probably don't even need all this, you could just do it without it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The important thing is, what are we looking at? We're looking at this. Okay. So is it within the area? That's basically all this does. Is the first finger within the left area? If so, then create a velocity, which is the first position, i.e. the position of the input, and the left area global position. And this will normally print something like, well, I can show you. So you can see that's not a very useful, but that's basically, that is giving a vector, and it is, but that's not normalized yet. So we normalize it, and then we can use that number. That's setting the number here. We can use that number in our player script. If touch, apply force, move, force, and then make sure the delta isn't too crazy. Okay. And then we need to look at the second input. So we have our second position. This is all basically the same. We create a direction, basically the same. Create a vector, basically the same. Then we go to, then we put it into the player, because the rotate body can't see the in-game. The rotate body can only see the player 1. It can't see the in-game UI, because on, we see, it can't see all the nodes there. So we've got to send it to the player 1, and the player 1 can send it to the rotate body, and the rotate body can, if global's mouse, no, if global's touch, look at the rotation direction. Okay, so there are a number of problems, and I'll now insert a video of it working. Okay, you've seen the video of it working, but there are a number of problems with this solution. So I can't really show it here properly, but the problems are when I do have one finger down, right? But then if I was to I have the left area moving, and then I put the second finger down on the right area, and then if I were to release the right finger, for whatever reason the left area will stop updating, and it will sort of freeze. The second major problem is it's not dynamic. So I have to do it in order. I have to press down the left finger and then the right finger. I can't press down the right finger to rotate and then the left finger. I mean, that is the major problem that I want some help with, and I hope that somebody can create a tutorial, a proper tutorial about multi-touch and how indexing works, and how to implement this sort of solution properly. Yeah, if you have any comments, please leave them. Any suggestions, please leave them. Otherwise, I'll try to create a GitHub, I suppose, and leave the code there if you need it. But yeah, thanks for watching the video.